Hey guys. Okay, so this is a video that's been in pretty high demand, and I want to try to do it really quickly just to satisfy anybody's curiosity about this process. So, the things that you're going to need are
but it'll tell me when
paint. I used this Artist Loft paint. I also used this Craft Smart. I used all of my real Sista Girl colors, so we're going to work with this here gray girl color. And I think this is like a copper or a bronze. I just want to show you this Craft Smart brand is a little runnier, I noticed, than this Artist Loft brand. Could probably get away with just using the Craft Smart by itself, but I was just wanting to stretch it out the most I could and not have it be super thick and waiting 2 days for it to dry in the bulb. Even with this method, it did pretty much take the 24-hour process of draining upside down in the cups. So, let me grab my ornament. So, these are the ornaments that I used. They are sticker price $10. The brand is Art Minds, and they are just about 4-inch disc ornaments. They're clear, they're plastic. The little top comes off like this. So, top one out. You're gonna just pop the little thing out there. Don't laugh at my little shot glass, but this is what we're going to mix in, and I think that should be enough for one bulb. I tend to pour the runoff from one bulb into another bulb. We're gonna get all this paint out of here. We're gonna use it all. So, wait a minute. I'm trying to do too much. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit inside. Clean this off the sides. I don't want to wipe that on myself later.
Okay, I appreciate the
and let me grab 1 second.
What you doing Friday? You back in Reno? All right, I might come your way on Friday. Depending on what my schedule is. It's too much to get. All right.
Okay, that's what happens when you don't prepare. All right, so I have about this much paint in there. It probably goes up to about there on the cup. And I'm just pouring a little bit of water in, and I'm just gonna stir it just to get it a little loose. And I'll kind of show you the consistency that I want to end up with. And you can overdo this. I did that on a couple, and as you can see, this was supposed to be brown like this, and it ran off too much. So you can overdo it. It can be too runny. But let's just see if we can get this to where, see, that's a little thick. I ain't got time to be waiting on that to go over the bulb. That's gonna take forever. But again, I can't make it too thin because it'll dry too much and get too thin and not show the actual color. So I think we close here. So now it goes up to about there. So maybe that's about equal parts. I don't know. We're just following by eye, kind of like how we cook. That's okay. I probably want it to be a little bit, because I'm just trying to check for how it's moving around in the cup. And I feel like that might move a little bit slow. But let's just try it. This is also sort of, it's got that shimmer to it, and I haven't used one with shimmer, so let's just see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this paint, pour it into the ornament, okay? And I'm just gonna coat the ornament. And the speed that it moves around obviously is, depends on how thick it is, but ooh, so pretty. Okay, so, and if you need some more, you can add some more. And again, you're just gonna pour it all off anyway. But I'm thinking that what we we did in this little cup should be just enough for this ornament. So you can shake it a little bit. Sometimes with some paints, shaking it can give you some air bubbles. So you can kind of play with it to determine how much you can shake it. Maybe depend on the paint that you're using. I don't know how much water you have in it. So when I get to here where I have it just about almost coated, I just put something under here. I had enough incidents of pouring paint on myself to realize, put a little something under there. So right now what I'm trying to do is get it to close in that little hole there. But because it's kind of uneven in the bulb, you might have some fall off from the other side, and that's okay, but just try to get it to. So now you see we just got that one little hole there. But you want to try to cover this whole space around there. Not every little piece of it is going to show, but the more you have covered, the better, I think. It just looks more finished. And so I'll kind of turn it to get it to hit all the pieces of that edge. Okay. Now I'm just going to tap it a little bit to get as much of the excess out as possible. Now I'm going to use a bigger cup because just shaking it, as much as I can get out now, the better. The faster it'll dry because it won't be so thick in there. And I try to do it to where you don't have a lot of paint that you're doing this with because that's just wasted paint. Also, if it was a little bit thinner, I would run it off into another bulb and start another bulb. But this is a little thicker than I liked it. But this was my first time with this shimmer paint in the bulb, so I just wanted to be sure. But it's a little bit thicker than I like. So once you do that, I like to clean off the edge. And then I need a clean cup because I'm gonna set it in the cup like that to drain, okay? It's gonna stay like that for about 24 hours. What I did was probably after about 18 hours, I pulled it out and looked at it. And what you'll find is a lot of it might be gathered here around the edge. That's the wettest part of it. Uh-oh, see that? Playing too much. But that's how you're gonna let it drain. Now, once you have it all situated, I'm just gonna use this one for demonstration because it's done and it's available. Then you're going to get your face. This is one that I had already cut. I think I'm going to add a few faces to my file and make one file that has a few different faces on it and list it below for sale. But you want to get your face weeded. The measurements that I used for these faces was a maximum of 2.5 inches wide. You could probably go a little bit more than that. I would say no wider than maybe 2.75 inches wide, because you don't want the face going all along the side of the ornament. You want it to kind of be centered like a face. There's a little bit of face around these features. Sometimes some of this is just easy enough to pull off like a sticker, and so when it is, I do. If you are familiar with the slice feature in Design Space, and that's all I know how to use, you can mess with these faces, slice it out, get you some new lips, change the color of the lips, and things like that. I'm only able to give it to you as welded faces, and so that's what you're gonna have to do to manipulate it. But it's doable and it's easy, because all the little components of the face are cleanly separated. You know, you can get an eye, you can get the lips, you can just get the nose or whatever. I see here that I just took a little piece off of my nose, and because I have a bunch of them here already, I can just grab a little piece from another one and replace it. So once we get this situated, we're gonna just transfer it using our transfer tape onto the bulb. I'll show you. Of course, this happened to be a little piece of nostril, but I'm just gonna put it back. Is she ready? Okay, so take a piece of transfer tape, get on here, just gonna use my little spatula, lift the face off, and I'm just gonna set it right down on here. There's a little piece of lint. Okay, so I'm just gonna take it up, and I'm gonna set it. And what I do is set the eyes first like that, without setting the mouth yet, and I get those nice and flat. A lot of times when I first started, I used to, in my mind, think, oh, this transfer sheet needs to be flat. No, what needs to be flat is the vinyl. So I learned to stop trying to mash the transfer tape real flat onto the surface of whatever I'm putting the vinyl on. And now it's easier. Some people snip, some people snip around here to kind of get it to contour. We're not doing all that. I'm just getting these eyes, and then I mash the nose, and then I go to the mouth, and that's all flat. Okay, so I'm just gonna rub it in real good, and then I'm gonna peel it off. And there you go. Then, because this is dry, I can go ahead and put this back in. What I actually do is pinch it at the top, hold those together. These move around kind of easily, so you may have to get it back out so it'll go across. Stick those in, stick that around. Done. So, I hope that was helpful. I don't really do videos so much, so I'm not as professional and finished as some of the other ones, but I hope at least I have answered some questions. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. And like I said, I'm going to list a file of faces that will most likely all be individually welded. Each face will be welded together, so the eyes, nose, and lips will all be welded, but very easily manipulated through just the slice feature or maybe the contour feature. So hope that helps. And after this, I just put a little ribbon on it. I'm not going to demonstrate that because that is not my forte. I'll be struggling with them ribbons. But anyway, hope that helps. Have a good night.